When you put the breast in the baby's mouth and the baby is sucking, allow the baby to suck for at least 15 minutes at a stretch. Let the baby suck for 15 minutes at a stretch. When baby is sucked for 15 minutes, then you carry the baby gently and put the baby on your shoulder. Then bulb the baby. Gently bulb the baby at the back. The baby will belch. When the baby belches, return the baby. You have to be patient to see that the baby has already belched. Then you have to return the baby back to the same breast. Then you do the same thing. Express gently. Let the baby suck for another 15 minutes. When baby has sucked for another, that means baby has fed on one breast for 30 minutes. So when the baby has fed for the second 15 minutes, put the baby up again. Bulk the baby. When the baby belches, let out gas, and then you now move the baby to the second breast. Move the baby to the second breast. Do the same thing. Press the nipple gently into the baby's mouth so that the milk can be expressed to the baby's mouth. And then when the baby sucks for 15 minutes, carry the baby gently. Put the baby on your shoulder. Bulb. When the baby belches, return the baby back to the breast for another 15 minutes. That means the baby has fed on this breast for 30 minutes and on this breast for 30 minutes. Now, the baby has to feed for at least 1 hour. Why that long? Why do you have to bulb the baby every 15 minutes? Now, because of that condition, there is tendency for the baby to be taking in hair instead of the milk that the mother is assuming. So if you feed for about 15 minutes or 20 minutes or 30 minutes and baby starts crying again, you'll be wondering what is happening to this baby. But I fed the baby, but I felt the baby might even not take it again at that time. Baby is tired, because you have to strain the mouth to stop. And at that time, a lot of gas already in the baby's stomach. Baby will need to rest, and you are assuming that the baby is already being fed. The baby will start crying. And don't forget that your baby needs to be well fed and weigh a particular kilogram before the surgery can be done. So you need to feed well. So the reason why you are burping after every 15 minutes is to let out the gas that the baby might have taken in, and then create more space for more feeding, for more milk to go into the baby's mouth. So you do that 15 minutes, you burp, 15 minutes again, you burp, then you change the breast to the second one, and then you feed for 15 minutes, burp, and the baby belches, feed another 15 minutes. That means the baby feeds on the breast for 1 hour. And then you feed your baby every 2 hours. So when baby has fed for 1 hour now, let the baby rest. You rest. Then the next 2 hours, you feed your baby again. Baby needs, they are not doing anything at that time. They are just sleeping, eating, and we cannot deprive them of that. That they have a condition of cleft lip and palate should not deprive the child from breastfeeding. Now, in the case where the mother cannot directly feed the baby, maybe because of some condition, maybe the mother is ill, or the breast milk is not really coming out well, or for one thing or the other, one reason or the other, at this point, then you have to express the milk. Express your breast milk. So when you express, you have to express, wash your hands very clean, get a very clean bowl. You cannot just assume that a bowl is clean until you have washed, sterilize it. You can sterilize them with hot water. There are some tablets that you can put. Just make sure that they are sterile, very clean. Wash your hand, then express the milk from your breast into the bowl. Yes, you can express directly into the feeding bottle, or you put in a bowl before you transfer into a feeding bottle. Now, when we're talking about feeding bottles, that takes us to the kinds of feeding bottles that children born with cleft lip and palate use. Now, there are some feeding bottles that are specially made for them. And these feeding bottles are like this. It's a very special feeding bottle that has been created to suit the feeding of children that are born with cleft lip and palate. A lot of people just sell this out. They sell it outside like it's a fashion feeding bottle. You can just use it. So no, it's not for fashion. It has a purpose, and it is for children that are born with cleft lip and palate to help them to feed well. Now you can see as I'm pressing this thing, it is jelly-like, and it is very, very easy to press. It's jelly-like and therefore very easy to press. And there is a very tiny hole here. That is the very tiny hole here. That is where the food, the milk, comes out from. So what you're going to do is that when you already have the milk in the bottle, well preserved, then when you want to feed your baby, you will still sit the baby down in 45 degrees, like the baby is seated in a sitting position. Okay, then you put the bottle in the baby's mouth. In the baby's mouth, then you press gently. When you press gently, the milk will come to this spoon part. It will come to that part and then it goes into the baby's mouth directly. Baby sitting in 45 degrees, then you put it into the baby's mouth and then you feed. Now, knowing that a particular meal of milk is there and that it is going directly into the baby's mouth now, unlike when you are assuming that the baby is taking in air. So you can feed the baby according to the meal that the baby can take at that time. So you express, after you have expressed, if you by chance you get to know how many meals a baby can take, fine, then have them in the bottle. But just know that this bottle is specially made for children born with cleft lip and palate, and it is easy to press, it's jelly-like, and then you can feed the baby. The baby is still being fed on 45 degrees sitting position. Don't feed your baby sleeping. It can cause aspiration and then choking. We don't want to endanger our baby's life. Please don't forget to do all of this. Is very important. And please always keep the bottle clean. When you are done feeding the baby, the residual should not be left in the bottle. Throw them away, wash the bottle, sterilize them before you use it again for the baby. You know that when you have feed the baby is going to be fed in the next 2 hours. So please get the bottle ready in the next 2 hours to feed the baby properly. So I have said in a recap that when you want to feed your baby that has cleft lip and palate, you need to be very, very, very patient. It is very important to be very, very, very patient. And you have to concentrate on the baby. No distractions of any sort. There's a feeding bottle that has been made specially for them. This is what it looks like. Get the feeding bottle in case you cannot express directly. And if you can express directly, please sit your baby down in a sitting position of 45 degrees. Gently press the nipple of the breast, let it enter into the baby's mouth so that the breast milk is gently expressed to the nipple, and then the baby can easily suck without having to stress too much. Then when the baby sucks, after 15 minutes, pull the baby up, bulk the baby. Even when you are feeding with the bottle as well, after a period of time, even when the baby has finished eating, please don't forget to always bulk your baby. Always bulk the baby. When the baby belches, then that is even when you can lay your baby to sleep. Even when your baby wants to sleep, please do not let the baby lie down while eating, or immediately after eating. Do not let the baby lie down unless you have already bulked the baby and the baby belches. Please put your baby on your chest or on your shoulder, preferably on your shoulder, then bulk. When the baby has belched, then you move to the next breast if you are still feeding, or you put the baby to rest when it's time for the baby to sleep. So for the breast milk, you feed at a stretch for 15 minutes, bulb the baby, put on the same breast for the next 15 minutes, bulb the baby, then take to the second breast for 15 minutes, bulb the baby, then for another 15 minutes again. That means the baby has sucked on one breast for 30 minutes, on the other for 30 minutes. That makes it 1 hour feeding for the baby. Don't forget to do this for your baby because they need to eat. They need to eat well. They need to eat well. It is very, very, very important. The surgery will be done only if they are weighing a particular they have a particular weight, and when the baby has been seen that they are healthy. The baby needs to be healthy so that when the surgery is done, they can heal fast, and then you can see a good result as well. Thank you very much for joining me today on this episode of the feeding part of the cleft lip and palate children. My name is Nifemi Ayelomi, and this channel remains Cleft Clear with Nifemi Ayelomi. Please subscribe, like, and share this link. Thank you very much for joining me today. So on our next episode, we're going to be inviting another guest, the nutritionist, to talk more on feeding of children born with cleft lip and palate. Please don't go anywhere. Thank you very much.